Hi everyone, my name is Georgette True and I am the host of Fight CPS We'll Talk with Ms. G, and I also work with attorney Vincent Davis, who is a CPS defense attorney that most of you guys know. I want to talk today about drugs. I had a couple of calls from moms who had babies recently, and they were given drugs in the hospital. Sudafed was one of them. And then I did my research, and Sudafed has methamphetamine in it, components of methamphetamine in it. So the drug, here it is. Okay. So basically here it describes that the drug has methamphetamine in the drug, and it shows the results positive in the hospital. However, when the mother called me, she said in the hospital it was negative, right? Because they know what they gave her. Then 3 months later, they went back to the mom, CPS that is, and removed the baby from her and placed the baby in a adoptive foster home. As we all know, I told you guys this before, they have several homes. They have several foster homes. They have adoptive foster home, they have placement foster home, and they have temporary placement foster home. So the placement is permanent placement. The other one is temporary placement, meaning they put them there temporarily until they find a suitable home that wants to adopt or that wants to have them permanently. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when you have an infant, that becomes a money, like literally money making machine for the social workers. Social workers don't care about your race. They don't care about anything else. They care about the baby. So when you get a false positive, for example, make sure that you get a qualified um, expert witness to read those findings to the court. That's very important. But to hire an expert witness is going to cost you money. To hire an independent attorney who is a CPS defense attorney is also going to cost you money. So please understand that when you're dealing with the state and county, you're not dealing with just two people. You're dealing with their attorneys, you're dealing with the district attorneys, you're dealing with the state, you're dealing with the state attorney, you're dealing with the county attorney, you're dealing with the children attorney, and the list goes on and on. So please understand, without an expert witness to these findings, that is a false positive, you are not going to have a chance to win. I'm telling you right now, you guys cannot do this on your own. It takes a very highly qualified CPS defense attorney to help you in matters like this. Now, we understand that mothers in the hospital, especially if they're having a C-section or natural birth, we understand that they're given drugs. Now, the mother, during her pain of labor, doesn't understand what type of drugs is given to her. Or maybe she had to sign a paper allowing it, but in her mind, she's in pain. She's in a different world. So she doesn't fully understand what is happening to her body, right? So social workers see that as an advantage for them. Advantage, right? They see that as, hey, we have an opportunity to go remove this baby or these twins or whatever the case may be, and the mom doesn't have money to hire an attorney. And then the mother and the father are talking too much to the social workers. They treat them like they're God. These social workers are literally nothing. But they act like they're powerful and they're God on earth because their God is Satan. They're arrogant, they're condescending, they're literally walking demons in human bodies. So when you keep talking to the social worker, don't think that you're saving your case or you're saving your children or saving your life. It's not going to work, because whatever you say to them, they're going to add 300 lines, 300 sentences to it. So you're not going to get off the hook if you're nice to them or if you're not nice to them or what the case may be. They are after one thing, your children. So please stop talking to them. Please, I'm begging you. Don't think when you call our law firm it's going to be easy breezy case like this, like you guys always say to me. It's going to be easy, Miss G. It's going to be easy. It's so, I have all the evidence. But what you guys don't understand with CPS cases, your evidence might not be the right evidence. There might not be evidence at all. You think you have it, but you don't know. Okay? So please, I'm asking you and I'm begging you, get advice from a CPS defense attorney. There is really nothing bad I can ever say about Attorney Davis. Literally. And I'm not saying that because I work for him. I'm saying that because I go to cases with him. I go to court with him. I have witnesses. I have witnessed him in Indio, in San Bernardino, in LA County. I mean, I have gone inside the courtroom, literally heard how he handled himself and how he carries on and how he has a way of tricking the individual in front of him. Can't explain it to you in depth because it depends on the case and depends on the situation, but I have learned a lot from him. A lot of you guys might think he's expensive, but honestly, you get what you pay for. The only worst enemy to you is yourself. You become your own worst enemy when you're dealing with CPS because you don't know how to keep your mouth shut. You don't know how to listen more and talk less. It's like all of a sudden, all parents get diarrhea in the mouth. Like they start talking about childhood when they were 14, when they were 16, that they stole candy from the store, or that their dad did drugs when they were kids, and they start talking about their personal life like it wasn't even asked, but they start adding more and more and more to it. Social workers want that. They want this. So when you guys call me and say, oh yeah, the social worker is really cool, but they changed her and they gave me somebody else, that's all a game. It's like good cop, bad cop. Remember that. Good cop, bad cop. That's why they use the positive, the false positive against you in the hospital when you deliver babies, even though the hospital gave you that drug. I have so many cases that call me that they don't do drugs at all. They don't do meth, they don't do marijuana, but yet they have a positive after the hospital released them to go home with their baby. So just imagine you're celebrating your baby birth, and then they come at you 3 months later to remove your baby because of a false positive that had nothing to do with you, but it had a lot to do with what the hospital injected in you. So they use opportunities like this to deceive and manipulate. Because this system is literally built on deception. This system is built on deception. I hope to God every one of you guys understand this. I understood a lot learning from seeing Davis in court. I understood a lot. I understood why he was telling me how the system, how inside the courtroom is a different world. It is a different world. Believe me when I tell you, I've been there with him. You can't go in the courtroom and say, Your Honor, my client is innocent. Social worker is a piece of crap. I demand the kids to be returned to the parents right now, right now. Can't do that. There's procedures you have to follow. But see, what I learned from Davis is the way he cleverly, he's so clever. He studies you. He studies the person, like, especially if there's a trial, he's like studying the witness as he, like, listening to the witness, especially if the the one on the stand is a social worker. And then his brain is wired differently. Then that calm guy in court becomes a different person. He kills them with kindness, not kindness, but how can I say it? I can't explain it. Hmm, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He will detect you. He will break you with that. He would literally get you to react, understand, to the point where you're going to lose your mind. That's how brilliant he is. And he still has the same low, soft voice he has. I wish I can record him in court so you guys can understand. I really wish I could record him so you guys can see him in action. So, yeah, he's worth every penny. He's worth every penny. And I'm not saying that because I work for him. I'm saying that, again, I'm going to repeat, because I have witnessed him in action, you know? And believe me, if he's the one handling your case, you will not be disappointed. The only problem that you guys have, not all of you, but some of you, is that you guys don't listen to him. And I've witnessed that too. I've witnessed that in court. And when you don't listen to him and you do things your way because you think you know, that's when you become your own worst enemy. I wish I could have a banner saying you are your own worst enemy, because you start getting obsessed. Like, you can't even process what your attorney is telling you because you just want your kids back so fast, right? That you start doing things your way. And when you do things your way and you have Attorney Davis as your attorney, you're literally screwing your own case all by yourself because you think you know what you're doing. If you need to hire a drug expert witness for a drug test, you know that you have to hire this expert witness. In order for you to win, you have to invest in your case. If you can't invest in your case, it's going to be a problem because the social workers are already 300 steps ahead of you. I have another case that I know personally because I got to know the clients, husband and wife, and it's a civil case. These two cannot get it together. Every time there's an appointment set, they have an excuse. And they start arguing together. They have an excuse every single time. Years went by, months and months and months went by, and they're still at it, the same exact situation, making excuses. I can't come today, Miss G, because I have to cancel the appointment with Attorney Davis. Then a few months later, they call and say, well, Mr. Davis is not calling us back. We don't know what's going on with my case. I'm like, dude, I made the appointments for you, but you keep canceling it because you're making excuse, another excuse, and then you're blaming it on Davis. But see, most of you guys that know me understand that if you're involved with me, for example, I make sure that I'm on the call with you and Davis. What I do is I take notes of the conversation. Make sure that I take thorough notes of the conversation and the date and the time of the conversation. If you guys call me and say, Miss, you have to cancel my appointment, I also notate that. So I have the time you called, the record of your call. I have information you're sharing with me of canceling the appointment or the meeting with Attorney Davis. All that I keep records of. Because see, when you guys complain, then you come back and say you're not working on the case. Yeah, we are working on the case. But the problem is, again, you become your own worst enemy because you think you know what you're doing, but you're blaming it on someone else who had nothing to do with it. It was your own actions that got you there. So I realized it's really, how can I say it? How can I say it in a nice way? You become your own worst enemy when you don't take care of your mental health. You have to take care of your mental health in order for you to be productive, in order for you to understand what is said to you, in order for you to be on the move, meaning on the move. When Attorney Davis tells you something, write it down, date it, implement it. Don't be wishy washy and go speak to someone else who's a fool. And then that person tells you to do it this way, and then you do it their way, and then come back and say, Attorney Davis told me to do it. No, sweetie. When Attorney Davis gives you an advice, you better understand that that man goal is to win your case. He doesn't like to lose. If the case is lost, it's not because of his doing, it's because of something you did. A lot of people don't like to hear the truth, but I don't give a damn. The truth is the truth, and that's it. So take care of your mental health, take care of your literally your overall appearance, take care of, get some sleep, make sure you get some sleep, make sure you drink a lot of water, make sure you eat healthy. All of that is important. Your kids need you, so you have to take care of you. Right? You have to put on your mask first before you put it on your child. Always like that. Because without you, how is your child going to survive? That's the best way I can put it. But you guys need to wise up. You need to wake up. Families need to help each other. If you can't afford the right defense attorney, CPS defense attorney, your family needs to step in. Your best friends need to step in and help you. But you need to hire an attorney immediately. You cannot trust the foster parents, especially the ones that want to adopt your infant, for God's sakes. When people tell me, Ms. G, the one that has my twins, my infant twins, or my baby is a nice foster parent. Yeah, maybe there are some nice ones out there. Some very, very small percentage. However, how do you know that this is genuinely a nice person? Because we are deceived. We're humans. We get deceived by kind words, by encouraging words, but all along, this foster parent wants to know more about you. Because that foster parent wants to adopt your baby. Your baby. So if they want to adopt your baby, they don't want to give you your baby. Because I told you before, adoptive homes become adoptive foster parents become that to adopt. That's the cheapest, easiest way to adopt. So they might be kind to you at first, but believe me, they're reporting everything to the social workers. And they add some more, right, to the conversation that you two had together. You don't get the report right away. It's not until the end, after they tell you, do your classes and do this and do that, and then, you're going to get your children back. Just do what they say. But that's all a distraction. Because they're going to come back in court, and I guarantee you 100% never fails. They're going to tell the judge, Your Honor, we don't believe that person changed. Your Honor, recommendation is termination of parental rights. They're going to add and add and add and add more to the story than what it is. So be careful, be mindful, and you need to help yourself, and you need to help your children. Do not talk bad about the dad. I don't care what your husband did 2 years ago. I don't care how many reports he filed against you. A lot of mothers become the main focus is to expose their ex-husbands. Expose, expose, expose. I want him exposed. But I'm like, but don't you want your children back? Isn't that the most important thing? Today I had a potential client that said to me, I don't care. I want to expose him. She didn't answer the question correct and answer it in the right way. She just said, I don't care. I want to get him exposed. That doesn't work in CPS world. Actually, doesn't work in any world, any court legal world. It takes a specific strategy to win your case. Aggression is not going to win your case. Shift blaming is not going to win your case. You can't even go to court and say, Your Honor, my ex is a narcissist. You can't even do that. You're not qualified to say that. You're not. You can't open your mouth to say that. Basically, if you feel that your ex is a narcissist, then request from the court, the judge, right, to do a psych evaluation. Psych evaluation between both of you guys. And that psychiatrist usually has been doing it for over 30 years, hopefully, right? They will write their findings. Then your attorney can request for that to be evidence, submitted exhibit, part of the evidence in court. And that attorney can address it to the judge. But you can't just go in there and say, my ex-husband is a narcissist and he's not a good dad and he's a piece of crap. He never paid child support. I'm the one supporting the children and so forth. You just go on and on and on trashing your ex-husband. Things have to be done legally, right? You can't just open your mouth and expect to be understood. If that's the case, you're going to lose. Because there's a specific way to speak to a judge. I learned that from Davis, watching him. There's a specific way to address something to the court. And there's also a specific way to trip your opposing counsel, the social workers in court, somehow slippery slope where they just say the truth. They didn't realize, they confessed that they lied, example. That's the strategy I'm talking about. Davis understands how to do that. He's good at it. He's brilliant. There's literally nothing bad I can say about this man in court. Nothing. I wish to God we had 100 of him in LA County. If we had 100 of him in LA County, I guarantee you the loss of children will be very, very small. But unfortunately, a lot of attorneys don't want to learn his strategy because they think it doesn't work. But one of them uses it and it works, they come back to him and say, oh, Attorney Davis, you were right. It worked. See, it doesn't make sense to you at first, but he knows what he's doing. If I'm not in the courtroom, I now ask him if I'm like outside at Starbucks because I'm done with seeing judges. I go pick him up and I come back and he comes in the car and I'm like, so did you win? That's all I want to know. Did you win? He's like, yeah. You guys understand that you need to invest in something. When it comes to your children, invest in the right representation. Your cheap family law attorney that takes $2,500 and $5,000 and comes back and wants $6,000, comes back and wants $20,000. That's BS. That cheap attorney is good at first, but again, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for God's sakes. I can't express that enough. Can't express that enough. I literally want to be the best attorney. I want to be like Davis in court. In court. Because he does kick ass. But again, the clients oftentimes become their own worst enemy. When they decide to listen to Davis, they actually win. I wish you guys can understand exactly what I'm trying to relay. I just wish, again, that I can take a video of him and have you guys watch his interaction in court and how he handles himself in court. So, but I can't do that because I can't record it. It's confidentiality. But It's only confidentiality really when the social workers screw up, right? Then they say, oh, it's confidentiality, we can't speak of it. But yet they go and destroy the family, destroy the family's reputation with their neighbors. They destroy the family reputation at their jobs to the point where they lose their jobs, all based on just unfounded allegations. But yet, when they do harm to the children, the social worker's excuse is, we can't, it's confidential. Yeah. So, again, you're dealing with a system that was built on deception. Can't win with that. There was a friend of mine sent me this, and I want to read it to you guys. I actually want to read it. Where is it? He said, if you fight against a demonic system, you fight them and you fight them and you fight them, and you don't know how to fight them. You keep doing it. You're dealing with, when you fight ignorance, idiotic people, they drag you down to their level. And he's right. They drag you down to their level. When you fight with a fool, you become a fool. So when you're thinking you know how to interact with the social workers and know what to say to them, and you think you're right, you're just playing along. You're just literally falling for their trap. I have been talking to a lot of people for years and years and years, and I thought that my videos and Davis's videos will bring out the message out there. But the more and more that I speak to people, I realize the message is still not heard. I was hoping that before they call the social worker back, if there's a card left at the door, they would at least Google what to do. And I'm hoping that Davis's videos is popping up and my videos are popping up. However, that's not the case. No one researched anything before they call the social workers. The ones that call me for help don't know what they did wrong. And when I address it to them and I let them know what they did wrong, they say, we didn't know. They didn't do their research, right? So after the damage is done, that's when they need help. And then in the middle of the case, they create more damage. And they expect Attorney Davis is going to save them from the creation of their own crap. They created it, but then Attorney Davis now has to re-evaluate the case again and to come up with different type of strategy. So you're creating more work because you can't keep it together. You can't keep it together because you're upset when you go visit your children in a CPS building, monitored visit, and the social worker, the monitor tells you don't say this to your children. You think, oh, don't tell me what to do. I'm the father or I'm the mother. Who are you to tell me what to do or how to talk to my children? The way you sound, it's really not about what you say, is how you say it. It's how you say it. So sometimes you have to swallow your pride for the sake of your children. And even if you didn't do that, and the monitor is just wants to F with you, just kindly look at them and say, I understand. That's it. Isn't that better than if you say, oh, don't tell me what to do, you are not my child's daddy or mommy, and la 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 la. It completely puts you at a different light. Now they know they can trigger you so fast, they're going to use it against you. So you can't allow them to know what your weaknesses are. That's when you answer her or him in a way where like, thank you, I understand, and focus back on your children. Then you can write down what that monitor said, what was she wearing, what time she said it, and address it to your attorney at the proper time, and ask your attorney if that could be part of exhibit evidence. Can we use this as evidence, what they're doing to me during the visit, example? Or can you please, if they do have cameras in there, subpoena the cameras. So address it with your attorney. Sometimes Attorney Davis will say, no, that's not good enough evidence, I'm not going to use that. Listen to him. He's the one that wants to win more than you think. Listen to the attorney that wants to win, not just allow you to do whatever you want. Usually when he allows you to do whatever you want is when you keep insisting. And he will tell you the outcome will be bad. And you're willing to take a chance. So you're willing to take a chance on your children, and then you come back and complain when you lose. That's not the right strategy. So wake up. Understand that if you don't take care of your mental health, they're going to devour you. So don't destroy yourself, and don't destroy your case, and don't destroy your children, because your actions affects your kids. Your own actions affects your kids. And I want to say something to mothers who are still with abusers. If you're with an abuser and that abuser keeps abusing you, and you think he or she, whether it's a man or a woman, he or she is going to change, you're mistaken. I always tell women that it's best to rely on yourself financially than to rely on anyone else. Better yourself, educate yourself, stand on your own 2 feet, take care of your children. If the ex doesn't want to give you child support, leave it alone. Leave it alone. You can take care of yourself and your children. You're blessed. You can't argue with idiots. Again, they will drag you down with them. And then when there's a lot of division and a lot of fighting and a lot of this, then CPS will become involved. You're opening the door to the devil when you can't get it together. Then you ask why. I have women who are dealing with CPS, and they get into a new relationship during the process with a different man who's abusing them just like that previous one. And they expect their situation to change. I'm telling you this because I want you guys to understand that everything that you do will affect your children. I'm going to leave it at that. I pray to God that you guys spread the news and you bring awareness to how CPS operates, so at least the next person will be more aware not to repeat the mistakes that other people do. If you guys need to get a hold of me, you can find me. My direct office number is 626-631-8901. My email address is GAT as in Tom at vincentwdavis.com. You can email me, or you can text me again at 626-631-8901. Okay. Um, I am hoping that you guys also be um, hope for other families who are dealing with this without hurting them in their case by giving them the wrong advice. I have a lady that said if I follow Attorney Davis's book, that's right here. If I do everything Attorney Davis tells me to do in his book, am I going to win my case? Attorney Davis is a great writer. He actually breaks it down for you from the first from initial meeting with a social worker, investigative, um, um, initial the social worker initial investigation, for example, right? He breaks it down for you guys. But his advice in his book is not meant for you to take it and implement it without his guidance. Keep that in mind. This is such an important book, and I spoke to you guys about this before. Please keep that in mind. If you guys have a DUI or a criminal matter, he has a book for that too. If you guys need it, please email me at gat@vincentwdavis.com, and I'll be happy to send it to you guys. Not a problem. I actually took a lot from the office so I can mail it myself. Also, when there's a DUI and say the police caught you drinking, driving, and you have your children with you, and um, and then of course the police will call the social workers to pick up your children or what have you. Make sure that the first thing you do is call your mother. If you have a mother, the grandparents, the aunt, the uncle, whatever you need to do, tell them to come immediately. Remember again that social workers know that family members comes first, but their motive is to remove that and to put the children in foster home because that's how the Title IV funding is, funded by in a foster home. Okay, so they always focus on adoption and foster home, foster home, foster home. If you have grandparents and siblings and aunts and uncles, make sure that they're involved from day one. Make sure that they hire their own attorney because the social worker is going to tell them they're not part of the case. Right? So they have to hire their own attorney to get placement of these children, of your children, to make sure that they have placement of your children. Or if they want to adopt your children, say, for example, the grandmother and the grandparents know that they're not going to give you your kids. I would rather you give them adoption, right? Allow them to adopt the children because at least you know they're in good hands. So there's a lot of ways to go around it. But again, you have to make sure you are the social workers will never ever say you said you have a mom and a dad. They will always say if your mom is in Florida, we cannot give them the children. That's not true. The children can be placed anywhere in the world, not just the United States. So they brainwash you, they give you false information, and you guys think they're telling you the truth. They're not telling you the truth. That's why you need a CPS defense attorney. Make sure they're not family law attorney. Please make sure they're not immigration attorneys. Make sure they're not criminal attorneys. Make sure they're a CPS defense attorneys. How long have they handled CPS cases? How many years have they done it? That's very important. If you want to invest your money and your time into the right attorney, make sure you know who the attorney is. God bless you guys, and I do hope the message is passed on around for everyone to hear it and understand it, hopefully. And again, if you guys need to get a hold of me, you can call the 888 number or you can call me directly at 626-631-8901. God bless you, and I will see you guys on Thursday.